Good evening. I hope everybody's doing okay. Um, whew, just getting over a little bit of a coughing fit. Uh, yeah, it is what it is. Um, so, let's see. Updates. Everything's pretty much as it was. Still trying to finalize in my head the drainage system for the small grow tent. I've had about five different ideas in my head. Of course, I'm trying to naturally do it as cheap as what I can. And so, what I have to do, the task I have to achieve, is I need to put a barbed nipple in a plastic coffee can. So, and of course, it's got to be watertight. So, um, preferably inside diameter of about 3/8. That ought to be plenty to drain. So, um, I've been looking at. I'm serious about five different ways of doing it, and they all have their positives and negatives. I think the way I'm going to go is I think I'm just going to go with grommets. And if I go with grommets, that'd probably be the cheapest way. But the only thing that I don't care for that I have to do is in order to get a 3/8 inside diameter, it looks like I'm probably going to have like a ½ inch outside diameter. And which means it's going to be a little better than a ½ inch. I don't know for sure, maybe 5/8 or something. I'll have to drill the holes in the bottom of the coffee container, which means I'll have to get a bit that I can do that with. So, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's just just kind of one of those things that'll be probably the only thing I can think of I'll need a bit that size for. So I'll look and see. Um, I'll look and see what's up. So the good news is it looks like there's at least a chance. I don't count my chickens until I hatch, but it looks like I'll be getting a decal job. So looks like I'll have the funds hopefully to be able to get the drain for that project. So I'm hoping. So that's the only thing holding it up. As soon as I have the drainage system, I've got the irrigation system. So as soon as I get the drainage system, I can get started. So of course there's things I gotta get along the way. Consumable items like the Big Bloom. I'm gonna try to keep it 100% organic. So and Big Bloom is organic fertilizer, so I'm going to try to keep it 100% organic, and I can't wait. So I think I've finalized what I'm going to grow. Well, 3 different types of lettuce. I'm not sure yet. Might not have iceberg this time, but for sure I'll probably have like red romaine, butter, butter crunch, and then a third one. I haven't decided yet. Probably won't be iceberg again. And I think I'm gonna have a couple of pepper plants, and then I think I want to try to grow a pea plant. I think I want to put strings in the back of the tent, and I think I want to try to grow a pea plant in the back of the tent. So we'll see. I'll try. So anyway, that's what's going on as far as that's concerned. Other than that, don't really have any major updates. Waiting to be able to get started on stuff. So to the topic, and don't got tons. I've got an article to talk about, and kind of referencing back prior discussions that we've had on this subject. And then we'll do headlines and be done. Because of course we got a bunch of headlines since it's Sunday, and we got Friday, Saturday, and obviously today's headlines to go over. So we'll jump right in. So you have a sip of tea here. All right. Article that I put out, guess it was yesterday, on RT, and it's titled 4 Snails and 90 Clams Could Be Killed in Upcoming Hypersonic Missile Test, U.S. Air Force Warns. So they're pretty specific there. 4 snails, and 90 clams. And I'll see, if it was 90 clams, we would have to get somebody involved. But if it was 90 snails, but since it's just clams, nobody will miss them, right? Now, I mean, it's a ridiculous headline, right? The point that I wanted to make here is I had made reference to hypersonic weapons multiple times in the not so distant shows. And I had talked about the progress. And sometimes it can be a little hit or miss trying to find out the information on this stuff. And so sometimes when I tell you guys things, I'm going by memory that I've read, even if I can't bring something right up. The reason why I'm saying this is because the very last time that I brought this up, I tried finding where an article that talked about where a missile had failed, a test had failed. And I couldn't real quick bring up an article, so I just moved on. Fortunately, this article mentions that test, so I'll be able to verify what I said the last time I talked about this subject, as well as give new information. So, anyway, the article says U.S. Air Force has warned that a much-anticipated test of its new air-launched hypersonic missile could kill 4 snails and 90 clams. No such precise estimates were offered for the weapon's human lethality. The air-launched rapid response weapon test can take place next month. Let's see. After a previous failed attempt, which I told you about, General Timothy M. Ray, head of Global Strike Command, said in early June, and those paying the price will not only be the American taxpayers, but also the marine life of the Kerguelen Atoll in the Republic of Marshall Islands, where the test projectile is going to conclude its flight. The atoll is home to many rare species, but an environmental assessment that was recently released by the U.S. Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center and Kirtland Air Force Base, Kirtland? Haven't heard of that one, insisted that the test won't cause irreversible damage to them. You know, when you make a snail into mush, I'm pretty sure that's irreversible, but what do I know? Up to 4 top shell snails may be killed by the proposed action, and up to 90 clams, the document said. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this. Adding that the impact could occur on both land and in water. Other species would likely be affected more harshly. The ARRW firing could lead to the complete mortality of more than 10,000 coral colonies. Coral! And the Kerguelen Atoll, the document said. Atoll, potato, I don't know. They also warned that 108 humphead wrasses. I'll tell you what you never want to do. In the middle of the night, a dark alley in a big major metropolitan city, you definitely do not want to walk into a humphead wrasse, because, man, they're rough. No, I have no idea what the hell is a humphead wrasse. Anyway, an endangered fish species. Anyway, they could be injured or killed. Sorry, I kind of got off track there. When it comes to hypersonic weapons, the U.S. is lagging behind Russia. Pardon me. Yeah, I don't know if something's in the air today or what. Let's see, which apparently became the first nation in the world to put such a system in service after the introduction of the Avangard glide vehicle in 2019. So the cancellation of the first live fire test flight test of the AGM-183A RRW in April due to unspecified problems on its B-52H bomber carrier aircraft came as a major disappointment for the Pentagon. Which I had also said many times in the past that we're really lagging behind. It's the truth. Let's see. The environmental assessment mentioned shock waves caused by the direct impact from the test payload, which can travel long distances in the water, as the main reason for concern. However, it pointed out that due to their shells, shock waves are expected to have insignificant effects to top shell snails and giant clams. I don't know why I want to keep calling them claims. It listed other stressors that the sea creatures could experience due to the missile testing, including extreme noise levels, exposure to hazardous materials, disturbance caused by human activity or equipment, and the long-term presence of man-made objects in the water. The report concluded that the ARRW test and other U.S. military activities under the Ground-Based Strategic Deterrent Program would not have a significant impact on the natural or human environment. The Air Force didn't provide any estimates on the possible loss of human life if a nuclear-capable hypersonic weapon is ever used against another country. Well, I want to point something out. And what I want to point out is when I've tried to show you information directly regarding these weapons, it's hard for me to get information that was provided here. This article really wasn't about these weapons. It was about it was about possible environmental impact from the weapons, but it went into more detail about the weapon than than articles about the weapons go. If you follow me, yeah. So again, I read this stuff and I don't bookmark everything, and I read this stuff, and so sometimes I come to you with stuff and I don't remember where I got it from. But be rest assured, I got it somewhere. And I knew that we had a test, and in fact, I think they even link let's see. Well, they linked the article on airforcemag.com. But yeah. Back from June 3rd, 2021. I may have heard it from RT or who knows. Could have been anywhere. But, yepper. And there's a fair chance I even shared it out in the headlines. So, I never did have that article up. So, but that's okay. I read it to you. Kind of. So anyway, that's where we stand, and that's why I've been telling you here recently that I have a little more concern right at this particular moment in time, because we're not in a good spot, and I'm not laughing at our position. I don't know what to do. I cry, get ready. That's all we can do. In reality, that's what we can do. We can't just start running around our house screaming. That's not going to do anything. But we have to look at this for the reality that it is. You've got an emerging superpower, namely China, that right now, right now it's pretty unstoppable. I mean, economically, I'm not saying necessarily, oh, militarily they're the biggest bad. I'm not saying that. I'm not. But right now they're like, I don't know if you can say the fastest growing economy, because I know there's other countries that hold those ranks from time to time as well, but they are exploding economically, militarily, you name it. And they want to continue to explode. But you see, the United States wants to start pulling away a bunch of the things that are helping them prosper so much. For instance, like some of the benefits that they have for being an emerging nation, a rising nation. They get a bunch of benefits globally with trade. And so that's one of the things that the United States wants to, have removed or relieved, because they're getting these benefits, they're getting all these breaks when they're a big dog now. They're no longer a third, in reality, a third world country trying to come up. They made it. So China's not very down with that, along with a million other things, and then that's not to mention, the all the debate over the South China Sea and all the islands, Taiwan, So, and I'm just talking China. That's one nation. That's one nation. And then we got everything going on with Russia. I am honestly more concerned with China, though, because I don't see Russia as being a country to make a first strike. I don't. I don't see them as making a first strike. China, however, again, they're an emerging nation, which brings me back to what the point I was trying to make. They know that they are at a time to where probably they're going to see us at our weakest. And the reason I'm saying that is because this is what I see right now. In our government, what I see is a bunch of politicians and other members of the government, not necessarily elected officials, and they're standing there like deers in the headlights because of how outdated our technology is compared to other nations like Russia and China. And so there's this big scurry to get all of our weapon systems upgraded and get new weapon systems online. And, anybody knows that given a little bit of time, we're going to succeed. So right now is a crucial point in time that if China, or any other nation for that matter, would want to try to get in a good one on us, now would be the time. It wouldn't necessarily have to be crush us. It would just have to be slow us down. And in China's position, if they could just slow us down, then maybe they could achieve their goals with things like Taiwan. They've got a lot of other things they'd like to do too. So, for instance, if they could stall us, cause us to stumble enough, and just have an entire campaign there in the South China Sea, kind of a now or never moment right now, is it not? Now, would they just do that? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not saying they would. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm just saying that strategically, if it were me being a leader of another nation, and I, for whatever reason, wanted to choose a time, it would be now. I mean, wouldn't you think? I mean, look at the leadership of the country, look at the citizens, I mean, the whole gambit. It's ripe. It's ripe. And that's why I say the important thing is we get ready. Not trying to fearmonger or anything else, but I can't. I see no sense in not being honest about what's going on. And I'm not foolish when I see that the type of weapons race that is going on right now. And it's not just the big dogs either. There's a lot of nations all throughout Europe. I mean, there is a lot of nations that are doing everything they can to build up as much of their military and weaponry as they can. Something's up. Something's up. I mean, we all know that. But mix in the world's economies and its problems, all the different issues caused by COVID one way or another. It's time. So that's what I'm saying. Not trying to fearmonger. Just get ready. Have some food. Have some supplies. Be ready. All right. Like I said, I didn't really have a whole lot. I don't have a lot of. It's not like I've got a bunch of inside information, man. I didn't see a bunch of documents about these hypersonic missiles or not. I just pay attention to the news, and so I just wanted to point that out. And if I ever cover stuff like that, headlines like that, tuck it in the back of your head, because that's important stuff to remember. Because if we achieve this, can actually create a hypersonic missile or a glide vehicle that can remain stealth, which is where I'm kind of being doubtful, then we're good. But I don't know if we'll be able to outdo the stealth. So you can thank the Clintons for that. I'll wait for the drone. Anyway, all right. I guess you guys might want to see some headlines too. All right, have a sip of tea and a couple of vapes. So yeah, other than that, I've just been trying to figure out how I'm going to do everything in the tent. Just trying to get all the system all figured out in my head. Because I'm going to do I'm going to do videos of doing the system, putting the system together and stuff. So I want to have it all at least mentally laid out. So when I go to do it, I'm not looking like I'm just completely blind at it when I'm doing it. So want to have a game plan. Can't wait. Can't wait to have fresh greens again. I really enjoyed having fresh lettuce out of that tent. I did. I have to admit, I really enjoyed it. Now I'm gonna be able to have like an entire salad, and considering that a lot of the imitation bacon bit things, you can actually have them even if you're kosher because they don't actually contain pork. So most of them don't anyway. And so that and some cheese and oh yeah. I don't do salad dressing. I'm like a rabbit. I don't do dressing. So a little bit of cheese, some imitation bacon bits, as long as they don't have any type of pork product in them, and I'm good. All right. All right, starting with the news from Friday. Now, this isn't so much a headline, it's an article. It's titled, Zombie Apocalypse, in which states are you most likely to survive? Now, you know I share a lot of RT links here, and I just want to make a note that this is not one of them. This link came from our local news, our local St. Louis news. Yeah. By the way, I'm proud to say that we're in the number 40 spot in safe places to be for the apocalypse. Number 40. That's right. New Jersey's actually the worst. So I would have thought New York would have been at least second worst, but it's not. Connecticut is 49. So yeah, the safest place, they say North Dakota. I don't know. And there again, you can't really make a list like this anyway, because what kind of apocalypse is it? That kind of matters. You know, if it's Yellowstone, if it's New Madrid Fault, it kind of matters. So, anywho, moving on. Let's see, it's not zero, but it's much less. General Milley minimizes report of 1,900 lost and stolen military weapons. Twitter, India's head called in for a police questioning over refusal to remove video inciting communal violence, says reports. India's fuel demand is recovering after second COVID wave peak. Let's see. Entire Portland Rapid Response Unit dealing with protest violence resigns after member indicted. Oops. 760,000 South Koreans to receive Pfizer and AstraZeneca jab mix due to supply delays. We'll just give you whatever the hell we want, and you're good to go. China ramps up investment into countries participating in the New Silk Road initiative. Foreign workers among 11 killed and 25 missing after landslide and floods hit Nepal, officials say. Pyongyang must be ready for both dialogue and confrontation with the U.S., North Korea's Kim says. Only 41.9% of French nursing home workers vaccinated, data reveals, as health minister threatens compulsory COVID-19 jabs. Russia's defense ministry will develop homemade secure smartphone and digital ecosystem for soldiers working on military bases. A Bank of England trashes Bitcoin while praising its non-existent digital pound. German troops jeopardize military's reputation with allegations of anti-Semitism and sexual abuse in Lithuania. Still on Friday, by the way. Israel to transfer more than 1 million COVID-19 shots, which are due to expire, to Palestinian Authority. 80 students and 5 teachers kidnapped in brutal school raid in Nigeria. Crimean authorities declare a state of emergency as rainfall causes flash floods, leaving thousands without water and electricity. I mean, it's just insane. You know, we've got droughts out west. Other places have these major rainfalls and floods and just it's landslides. It's just absolutely nuts. And it's just strange because it's not like completely random, kind of where these things are happening. If you're used to how the weather systems travel across the planet, it's nothing like it was in the past. The weather systems they're just so strange. I've always been kind of a weather geek. I've always I storm chased when I was a teenager, so I'm very familiar with watching the radar and how the storm systems would move across the country, how the air currents would move, and all that. Been following that stuff for decades. And I have never seen anything remotely like that's happening now with our weather systems. And if you have paid in the past any attention at all to weather systems, and I'm talking 10 years ago, look at them now. Pay attention to the radar maps now and how the weather systems move. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So I would expect we're going to see a lot of craziness. Let's see. And no, it's not global warming, CO2, cow farts. No. We didn't cause this and we can't stop it. Plain and simple. So it's not something it's something I should talk about a lot more, but don't. And we got a lot of stuff to get ready for. A lot. But make sure the stuff in Revelation is part of it. Just a hint. Don't kiss your tiny turtle. U.S. Health Authority warns of salmonella outbreak linked to pet reptiles. Well, we certainly won't kiss our turtle. Iran holds presidential election. Supreme Leader Khamenei encourages people to vote. Spain set to bid adios to mandatory masks outdoors from June 26. Moscow grapples with record rise in COVID-19 cases. New curfew extended as bosses told they can lay off employees who refuse the jab. Let's see. Still on Friday, serial failure. Former head of UK's disastrous test and trace program draws ridicule and anger after seeking top NHS post. Ireland seeking to compromise with U.S. on 15% global minimum tax push. Clashes between Palestinians and Israeli police break out after Friday prayers on Temple Mount in Jerusalem. At the end of gas guzzlers, EU molds banning all new cars powered by diesel and gasoline by 2035, says the media. That's a pretty, wow. That's a pretty steep request. So, to get rid of all fossil fuel vehicles, that's a pretty steep endeavor. COVID-19 restriction, I'm not necessarily for that myself. I like electric vehicles. I like the idea of electric vehicles, but I don't think that they should necessarily mean an end. I think it should be a choice. I don't think it should be an end. I think it should be a choice. And I think, honestly, if they would just knock it off and let them play with the battery technology that they truly have, and stop all this with what they're doing with lithium and stuff, which isn't any good either. But there's graphene technology and all that. They can make hemp graphene batteries. I kid you not. Hemp graphene batteries that I forget how many times better they are than the lithium batteries. It's unbelievable. Why the hell aren't we doing it? I mean, it's proven technology. Why are we not doing it? So, but I think it should be a choice. Anywho, COVID-19 restrictions to be relaxed in Norway as cases fall and 1/3 fully vaccinated. A number of global displaced persons doubled in a decade amid ongoing war and persecution, says an UN report. UK PM confident restrictions will ease on July 19th after extending lockdown measures for a month. Still on Friday. Brexit deals blow to UK food and drinks industry with £2 billion drop in exports to EU, industry body says. Moscow hospitals to deny routine treatment to patients who refuse COVID-19 vaccines as Kremlin warns skepticism is costing lives. With worrying vaccine hesitancy and recorded cases rising, Moscow mayor says city essentially battling COVID-19 from scratch. You notice how everybody's pushing mandatory vaccines. Antonio Guterres reelected as UN chief for second 5-year term. Second 5-year term. AstraZeneca must give 80 million COVID-19 doses to the EU by September end, a judge says, as both parties claim victory in shortfall dispute. Suspect acquitted after cops replaced cocaine with icing sugar to nail would-be Australian trafficker. So he got lucky. In other words, he did it. He was guilty. But so were the cops of stealing the coke and replacing it with sugar. So, yeah. Who wants a shot? Lithuania considers offering COVID jabs to tourists entering the Baltic country. Anonymous email says bomb planted in Moscow government building demands end mandatory COVID-19 vaccinations, says media reports. Never happened. Aussie SAS corporal denies claims he blooded rookie soldier by ordering him to kill prisoners. A Liberian rebel leader sentenced to 20 years in prison for war crimes, including cannibalism, and first such trial by Swiss court. A Florida man, why is it always Florida man, arrested and charged for truck burnout on LGBT pride intersection. British Tory MP Imran Ahmad Khan charged with sexual assault of 15-year-old boy. Thousands of COVID-19 lockdown violations in England and Wales judged via non-transparent judicial procedures, says reports. 2 reported dead, military truck burnt as twin blast rock Myanmar's Yangon, I guess that's the name of the city. Hong Kong police, still on Friday by the way, Hong Kong police charged 2 people with collusion with a foreign country after arrest at Apple Daily newspaper. U.S. Catholic bishops okay steps towards possible rebuke of Biden. I'm sure you guys have probably heard that by now, but if not, surprise! I don't know, Boeing 737 MAX 10 takes off from maiden flight after fleet returns to skies following grounding over 2 deadly crashes. Let's see. NASA's mission Equity draws groans as agency follows CIA and Pentagon down Woke Street. Oh, God. Now I'm hearing a jingle in my head from Sesame Street, Woke Street. Oh, man. That is not even cool. All right. Let's see. Trump's former White House doctor and 13 other GOP lawmakers call on Biden to take cognitive tests to assess mental fitness. I'll vote for that. Hell yeah, I'm bitter. Obama's ethics ex-chief rails against Biden White House nepotism in Twitter meltdown. Let's see. Biden froze military aid to Ukraine ahead of summit with Putin, U.S. media reports. Biden reacts to Catholic bishop's plan to deny him Holy Communion over pro-abortion views. Yeah, he reacted. Let me get his quote. We got to get his quote now. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to miss. Gibber him. We can't misgibber him. Absolutely not. Let's see. Here we go. Asked on Friday about the bishop's vote, Biden told reporters, "That's a private matter, and I don't think that's going to happen." Here.
What the Catholic bishops have done, are you concerned about this rift within the Catholic Church, and are you concerned about this action?
Say again?
The Catholic bishops are moving on this resolution that would prevent you and others who've supported abortion from receiving communion. Are you concerned about the rift in the Catholic Church, and how do you feel personally about that?
That's a private matter, and I don't think that's going to happen. Thank you.
What the Catholic bishops...
Yeah, that didn't go over real well. Let's see. But, when it comes to this stuff, it's, in my opinion, it's all aesthetics anyway. Because if he wants to take communion, he's going to take communion. Plain and simple. There will be some if he really wants to that bad, there will be some priest out there to give him communion. Guaranteed. Let's see. Expiry date too close. Palestinian authorities scraps deal for Israel to swap 1 million COVID-19 vaccine doses. Beyond horrific, New York City police released graphic video of daylight Bronx shooting involving a child. Again, this is still Friday. Trump's ex-VP Pence gets booed and denounced as traitor by hecklers during speech at conservative conference. A Special Forces Chief Diversity Officer who likened Trump to Hitler allowed back in questionable display of hypocrisy. Pop star Macy Gray demands woke makeover for divisive American flag, complete with colored stars for each race. Of course, that's not going over very well. Florida Governor DeSantis declares victory as federal judge slaps down CDC overreach on COVID-19 cruise ship rules. Biden and Trudeau agree to extend U.S.-Canada border restrictions as American lawmakers slam move as bullshit. Hey, I'm reading the headline. Oh, hey, we're in yesterday's news. Saturday, woohoo. Check this out, and once again, I keep telling y'all, woke up sweating. Some Texans shocked to find their smart thermostats were raised remotely. Yeah. So, do not fall for this stuff. Man, the World Wide Web does not need to communicate with your refrigerator. It doesn't. It doesn't. Keep this stuff off Wi-Fi, man. Things that don't need to be on Wi-Fi, toasters, coffee pots, refrigerators, thermostats. This stuff does not need to be Wi-Fi enabled, folks. I mean, really? Really, really. It's up to you. I won't do it. You know, there are some things that I have, but very, very, very few. The lights that we have above us, yeah, those are Wi-Fi enabled. They're LED lights. They're LED lights. What are they going to do? Turn my lights off on me? Okay. That's hard to deal with. Don't let them have control over stuff like that. Believe me, it's not going to end well. Not going to end well. And there are so many people that are doing it now. It's a shame. Let's see. NFL player Cole Beasley vows not to take COVID-19 jab or follow league's draconian rules, even if he has to retire. So, I normally don't post on sports stuff, but this was news. His refusal to take this and stand up in this manner, to me, qualifies as news. Hang on, let me have a sip of tea here. Alright, and just as a reminder, we're on Saturday's news yesterday. New York prosecutors dismissed most looting and riot cases from George Floyd protests, police data shows. At least 9 killed after twin-engine plane crash lands in southwest Siberia. A New Jersey governor signs legislation to mark Juneteenth that bans landlords from requesting tenants' criminal history. Iran's Rouhani and rival candidates offer their congratulations as Khamenei ally Raisi, I don't know how to pronounce that, poised to win presidential contest. Chinese digital yuan now available at over 3,000 ATMs in Beijing. Hardliner Raisi wins Iran's presidential election. And again, I'm probably saying his name wrong. Bitcoin dips below 36,000 amid concerns of impending death cross. 1 killed and 11 injured after helicopter carrying ballot boxes crashes in Iran, says the media. American woman found stabbed to death in Russia was former U.S. Marine, male suspect detained as cops launch murder investigation. So, not sure what's going on with that, but that's insane. Russian drillers rejoice as oil continues to rally. Every step we take could be monitored and analyzed if facial recognition tech isn't reined in, UK data watchdog warns. I mean, that's old news, but I would say it's something that folks might want to be on top of, because the technology that they have now it's not facial recognition anymore. It's your body. It scans your body. We all have a gait or walk. We all have it's like your fingerprint. It's we each have our own walk, and these systems now are smart enough to be able to pick up on that. They no longer have to have our face. That's old technology. Anywho, illegal 1,500 strong rave kicks off in France after night of clashes that saw 5 police injured and reveler lose a hand. Japanese officials scrap public viewing events at ill-fated Tokyo Olympics, citing COVID fears. A U.S. ambassador announces he'll return to Russia soon following Biden-Putin summit. Still on yesterday's news. Pastafarians cry foul after Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster fails to win formal recognition in Australia. I'm sure you all feel for the Pastafarians. Charges against trucker who drove through BLM protest to be dropped, says a report. Huge blaze and multiple explosions in central Moscow as warehouse catches fire. Again, still on yesterday. Vatican launches approval that might lead to EU founder Schuman becoming a saint. Despite opposition from Republican voters, Juneteenth platitudes pour in from all sides. Cops shoot driver after pickup truck plows through bicycle race in Arizona, leaving 6 gravely injured. Biden administration takes steps to make sex change surgery available as health care benefit for military veterans. Pentagon pulls missile defense and other systems from Saudi Arabia and other Middle East countries. I didn't think to pull this article up when I was talking about the other stuff, and I apologize for that. Not necessarily directly related to what I was talking about. However, yeah. And this article flat out explains that it's because of the different threats now and them responding to it. So I'm telling you, everything is they're all the countries are putting their ducks in a row. So just be prepared for that. 5 dead after primary school under construction partially collapses in Antwerp, Belgium. At least 3 injured and evacuation ordered after blast rocks Serbia ammunition factory for second time in a month. Again, this is yesterday's news, but all of these explosions in all of these countries at all of these different plants, it's mind-blowing. Illinois City goes forward with Juneteenth and LGBTQ parades and festivities after canceling in-person July 4th events over COVID-19. Yeah, you heard that right. Evanston, Illinois. So, yeah, no problem with Juneteenth and LGBTQ parades, but can't have 4th of July and fireworks and all that. No, because, well, between you and me, COVID likes fireworks. Yeah, they like fireworks, so we don't want to give them a place to hang out or anything like that. So, now possibly if everybody stood inside of a Walmart and looked out the lobby doors at fireworks over top of the parking lot, that might work. Don't know. Anyway, covered that article. Israel insists near expired vaccines rejected by Pennsylvania perfectly sound as Palestinian groups demand probe into the deal. Let's see. This is from last night. Massive George Floyd head sculpture in Brooklyn divides opinion as it's unveiled to mark Juneteenth. All right. We're 2 this morning, and I need a sip of tea and a vape. You know, I might not do peas this time around because I want to do spinach. I do want to do a plant, at least one plant of spinach. So, but I might do something else instead of the pepper plants because I would probably be wise to use all kind of shade cool plants instead of throwing peppers in with the rest of all cool shade plants. You know. Me and my ideas. That was like me that was like me putting in the lettuce with a cherry tomato plant and onions. Probably not the best plan. But hey, I had them going. Hey, the lettuce turned out great. It did bolt on me a bit early. And that could have been for any number of reasons. And but the tomato plant, my goodness, that thing just went crazy, and tons of tomatoes. The onions didn't fare so well, but I didn't have a big tub with a bunch of soil, and I'm sure that's why. So I never said anything about knowing about what the hell I'm doing. I never claimed that I know what I'm doing. So there's that. Okay. Let's see. More Brits brought crypto than stocks last year, a survey finds. Facebook promises to clarify what it considers satire after being reprimanded for flagging meme as hate speech. Again, with the news I put out this morning. Twitter proletariat, that's a word? Proletariat. I think I said that right. Twitter proletariat, whatever the hell that is, rise up against Marco Rubio, now I can't even say his name, after Florida senator claims new Marxism uses identity politics to divide people. Let's see. West African regional bloc agrees to launch single currency in 2027. U.S. investors boost cash flows into Russia despite sanctions. Now I can't even talk. That word screwed up my English for the rest of the night. It's pretty bad. Brazilians protest Bolsonaro's rule. I'm telling you, I can't speak. As country hits 500,000 coronavirus deaths. China passes billion COVID shots mark as Beijing ratchets up inoculation drive. Never inclusive enough. Guide for use of woke pronouns by British Law Association met with storm of mockery. Well, that's not nice. UK Health Secretary withheld promising vaccine data from Prime Minister, potentially influencing decision to extend COVID restrictions, says the media. Chinese drillers announced 2 massive oil and gas discoveries in northwest China. Miami offers its clean nuclear power to Bitcoin miners as it aims to become crypto capital of the world. Belgium's anti-lockdown Rambo likely found dead in the woods where he was hiding. I've been waiting to hear more news on this guy. I didn't forget about him. I just hadn't heard anything more on him. From what this report says, they believe that they have found him, and I think they suspect he'd been dead for a little while, but they claimed that he had ended his own life, that he killed himself. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? Who knows if they've actually got him or what's going on? But that's what they're claiming. They claim that they have found a body, that it is him, and that he apparently took his own life. So that's their story, and they're sticking to it. Scottish Parliament to debate euthanasia. So, euthanasia bill again after previous failures to legalize assisted suicide. Baby and 8 needy, neglected, or abused schoolgirls among 10 dead in tragic crash in storm-hit Alabama. German government to ban displaying of Hamas flag after spike in anti-Semitic incidents during Gaza conflict, says the media. Emergency shutdown reported at Iranian nuclear plant. Officials say power facility offline for technical overhaul. A Russian ambassador returns to the U.S. days after Putin-Biden summit as Washington teases new sanctions. Heavy rains caused flooding and mudslide in Krasnoyarsk, one of Siberia's largest cities. Krasnoyarsk. I think I might have something close to that. Krasnoyarsk. I'm at least following the pattern. Let's see. Shootings in... Jin's over there dying. Shootings in Mexico, U.S. border town, leaving at least 18 dead as mass crossings and crime spike in Force, Texas, to launch security crackdown. Anti-Fed Ammon Bundy, running for governor of Idaho to fight Joe Biden and the deep state. A fatal truck incident at Florida Pride Parade was tragic accident, not criminal attack, says the police. St. Louis couple who confronted BLM protesters surrender their guns to the state and then buy a new AR-15. Not surprised. Ooh, and we got a number 3 up there. Let's see what else is up tonight. Embattled Armenian leader Pashinyan declares his party's victory in snap elections after early results show heavy lead. Let's see. Activist Christopher Rufo dismantles Washington Post hit piece on his efforts to expose evils of critical race theory. And lastly, American Airlines cancels hundreds of flights as U.S. air carriers scramble to handle resurgence in travel demand. So, there we go. We are caught up. Alright. I am going to get out of here. 9:08. Yeah, I can relax for a little bit before I head to bed. I'm tired. But anyway, I appreciate everybody coming. Keep an eye on everything. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing. And until then, as always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. Shalom.